Hello and welcome to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 162. I am filming down in my kitchen today because we do have company staying with us up in the craft cave. So I won't be filming up there this week. And let me get, before we get started with my finished objects and my works in progress and lots of acquisitions, I'll tell you what I'm wearing. This is the Basic Stitches cowl. See if I can get this close enough so you can see it. It's sparkly. There, you can see it. This is a free pattern. It's one I designed, and you can find it over at Love Crafts. There's some paid-for patterns, and there's also some free ones over there. The link to it is down below in the description box, and that'll take you over to that site, and you can download it for free. There also is a tutorial. Oh, I've got hair in it. Anyway, there is a tutorial. If you want to learn how to knit, this is something you will have a finished project when you finish, but it teaches you all types of basic knitting stitches. I think there's yarn overs and there's seed stitch and even some cables. And a couple of you who are learning to knit have tried this and succeeded. So yeah, it's free pattern over there, and there are video tutorials for each of these stitches as well. So I will put a link over here to the playlist that goes with the stitches. Okay, let's get started with finished objects. I have one. If you remember, I made a black and a cream color scarf the other week. I have now made a purple one. It looks black, but it's not. It's deep, deep purple. It's identical to the other ones, and I have ties on them just so they tie, so if I wear it this way, I can tie it, but more than likely, it's going to get worn like that. Yeah, it's kind of an eggplant purple, but in the light, it's looking a little more black. But I actually had two ladies at church. I wore this last Sunday. Well, not the purple one. I wore the black one last Sunday. And I actually had two other ladies at church ask me to make them one each. So I'll be making these for a while, I think. It's quick. It's the virus shawl pattern, but I'm using number 10 crochet thread and a 3mm hook. And I'm doing 5 repeats, basically. So you can see I've got, when I say 5 repeats, I don't mean this beginning part. I mean where you've got the double stitch here. There is 5 of those repeats. And there's quite a few tutorials. I did a small tutorial on this pattern, but there's also one, I think Fiber Spider is the one that I watched and learned to do it. So, yeah, you want to make you can make this as big or small as you want. So this is my little headscarf. So that's my finished object. Now I have several works in progress. The first one is not knitting or crochet related. I've been working on my diamond art. This is a fall picture. And if I get it close, you can see the beads on it. I'm up to, I think there's 20 different colors, and I'm up to color number 7 or 8. I forget which. I'm on 7 or 8. So I tend to keep this at my kitchen table, and when I'm talking on the phone with like my mom or my daughter or something, that's when I do it. Or if I'm cooking things and I'm up and down and so I have to be in the kitchen, that's when I work on this. So I've been working on my diamond art. And then I've been working on my cabled sweater. Now here was where the interesting thing is, because I wanted to be able to compare with the same skein of yarn, same amount of yardage, how much further do I get with stockinette as opposed to cables? So I ran out of, this is from the first skein, I just have that little bit left. And here is, this is the front of the sweater. And I have decided with this sweater, it's supposed to be cabled front, back, and sleeves. I don't think so. I would look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. There's just, it's squishy, it's puffy, as you can see, and there's no way that's going to be attractive on my already Stay Puft-like body to begin with. So I'm going to just do it on the front, and the back is going to be stockinette, and here is the back. This is also just one skein, and I have about the same amount left over from the first skein. And when I say stockinette, it's just smooth, other than the ribbing at the bottom of the sweater. And so I'm going to do stockinette on the back, the cables on the front, and then to tie the two together when I do the sleeves, I think I'm just going to put 1 or 2 cables down the center just to kind of tie the front and the back so it doesn't look like, oh, she didn't want to do the cables, so she just didn't go any further. So that way it just kind of makes it look like it's supposed to be like that, even though it really isn't supposed to be like that, if that made sense. Anyway, let's compare how much more yarn was used with cables as opposed to stockinette. So I'm going to hold these up. Here's the difference. It is almost 3 inches difference, because here you can see this is where the cabled sweater ends. This is where the stockinette ends. So, yeah. It's a good bit. It does, the cables do eat up quite a bit of more yarn. So, and I told you last week I actually had to buy more for this, and that's some of my acquisitions. But with this, with my cabling, you can see how far I got this week. There is my progress keeper. And I could have gone further, but I wanted to make sure I stopped where that skein of yarn ended. So I did about 2 inches in here. And then this one, I also did, I don't think I did this at all this week. This is where I was last week, because this one I had finished up. So, yes, that is work in progress number 1. The second one I'm excited about, because I now have a front and 2 backs to my crocheted cardigan. I have a vest right now. Officially, it's a vest. So here it is. Here are the sleeves, or here's the front, and you can see, how far did I go this week? My progress keeper fell off. But anyway, I finished both fronts now. One front was already finished, and last week I had just the decreases to go. So I finished all of that. Now, this looks like it's really wide, and it is wide. It's wider than I am, believe it or not. However, if you can see this, it's going to be dropped sleeved. So my sleeves are going to be actually pretty short, as you can see here. So this is going to be drop shouldered, but I made this wide because I want it to, certain parts of my anatomy are wider than other parts. I don't want it to be gaping open at the hips or the other parts. So I made it extra wide for that reason, so it will close. So as a result, it's a boxy shaped cardigan, so it's not fitted at the waist. So I will have dropped sleeves. So the sleeves themselves should be pretty quick because I only have to go about this far. So I'm hoping to get that part done this week. And I will more than likely put some kind of an edging on here just to kind of give it a finished look. I'm not putting buttons on or anything because I wouldn't button it up anyway. It would just be open. So who wants to spend the time doing that? So I'm not going to, but I will maybe put some like binding or edging on it so it looks a little finished. So that is that project. Now it's time to take a look at what's in show and tell. Now we have our holiday along running until the end of this month. It ends on December 31st. We did have on the beginning of this month, it was actually on Wednesday, we had all the entries from November were shown on the podcast. So if you missed it and want to see all of the people's projects from November, you can click the link right here and that will take you over to that. But I'll also put a link at the end of my podcast. There's like two little squares that pop up that show other videos. You can click on either of those and it will take you to that video. So I will make one of those videos the holiday along picture. So that way you can watch the whole podcast here and then go over and check out the holiday along in case you missed it. As far as how far our two teams have gotten this week, Team Knit will be covered by Sara Oliver, the last who knits. And I'm doing Team Crochet this week. Team Crochet has made massive progress. They actually hooked 19,848 yards this week. That is second highest for the entire holiday along. The highest number was week 2 when you all did 20,283 yards. So you did almost 1,000. Well, not even quite 1,000. Yeah, you guys did only 400 yards less than you did week 2. So yes, you guys got a massive amount. You covered a huge amount of distance this month or this week. You have gone, you have passed through Shanghai, China. Then you flew over 1,000 miles to Yokohama, Japan. You're now crossing the Pacific Ocean. You're 500 miles of a 5,000-mile leg, which is crossing the Pacific to reach San Francisco in the U.S. So that's San Francisco, California. And if you want to see how the map actually is that of the travel from Glasgow, Scotland to Pennsylvania, I will put that up on a clip here. And we started and went to the east. So we left Scotland, headed east, and we're going around this direction, around the earth. And so we're coming in from California and working our way across the United States to Pennsylvania. So, yes, crocheters, you have gone quite a ways this week, so very amazing. Now, wanted to give you also a little update on our daughter's house. A couple of you have asked how things are going there. They actually are going very good. Friday and Saturday, which is today, we are helping them get moved in. They got the keys on Thursday night and they are ecstatic with being able to move back into their home. The kids are all excited about getting their rooms back together. And yes, so thank you all who have kept them in your prayers and in your thoughts. And like I said, everybody's doing well and they are getting moved in. Life is returning to normal for them. Now it's time for my acquisitions, and I've got a lot. I don't know how many of you guys went Black Friday shopping. I did a little. So first off, let me show you what I have gotten so far in my yarn advent calendar, and that is a calendar that I exchanged with Karen Lyon of the SSK Yarners. And if you like some of the yarns, some of the ones that she sent are when she actually did the dyeing. She does have an Etsy shop. I will put the link down below to her Etsy shop if you want to go over and check it out. So let me show you what I got so far. I'm going to show you all of the yarns that I've gotten from Karen, so they're kind of in a group. There is this gorgeousness here. This is called Black Walnut. And it has like tweed specks in it. In fact, it's called tweed. It's SSK Yarners Tweed. And it is an 85% superwash merino, 15% NEP. And it is called Black Walnut. And it's beautiful. It's very tonal of like grays and tans and like a deeper brown. It's just a really, really pretty, and like I said, it's got flecks of tweed in it, which are dark, a dark color, almost like, it's almost such a dark brown that it's a black. So it's really, really pretty. You can see the tweed really good there. And the colors are pretty true to color. It's very, very pretty. So then she sent me 2 sock blanks. Now let me show you how a sock blank works. Here is a sock blank. This one is called Graffiti for obvious reasons, and I love the colors in this. And this is kind of a creamy, as you can see, kind of a creamy yellow color. And this is, let's see if I can find, sorry, I had to go find the label. This is SSK Yarners as well, and it's called Graffiti Series. It is a 75% merino, 5% stellina, 20% nylon. It's called Wild Style. And it has a gold bling base. It is so pretty. And I wish you guys could feel this. It is like a baby blanket. It is so extremely soft. It feels like it's cashmere. It really does. It is so soft. And what you do with the sock blank is, and she's even marked where her end is. She has this little thing that says, start creating here. You put this onto your knitting needles or your crochet hook, and then you just directly knit and you unravel it like this. You unravel and begin knitting or crocheting right from it. So what you see here is not what's going to turn out once you've knitted or crocheted it. You don't know what it's going to look like. And a lot of times the dyer doesn't know what it's going to look like until it's knitted up or crocheted into something else. So, yeah, this is so soft. It's the temptation to just keep it and cuddle it. It's like, yeah, it is. I even had my husband feeling this, going, feel how soft this is. But yeah, it is just, it reminds me of cashmere. It is just so baby soft. So that was one of the sock blanks. The other sock blank is also in her glitz base, and this is called Swirls Single Sock Blank. It is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. And this is a partial blank, so I'm thinking this had something, oops, I'm holding it backwards. I'm thinking this had something to do with winter or something, because it almost reminds me of snow. But yes, there it is. So you have this darker blue here, and then you have bits of blue over here, and the gray and the pink. And again, she has it marked so you know exactly where to start unraveling. And this is that same base, but it has sparkles. It has glitter in it. There you can see some of the sparklies. And again, this is very soft as well. So yeah, if you've never tried a sock blank, they are fun to work with because the yarn is already kind of crimped from being knit up before. It makes it interesting to try to knit or crochet with. It does maintain some of that texture. So it's just fun, and it's kind of neat to unravel as you, yeah, it's like cathartic. It's very fun to like rip it out as you're knitting something. Most of the time we're ripping out because we're frustrated. This is ripping out for fun. So yeah, so go over and check her sock blanks out and her other little skeins of yarn. Other things I've gotten is this tonal brown. It's kind of a goldish brown. And this is Leading Man Fiber Arts, which is a very well-known dyeing company. This is their monologue base. Everything that they have is called Leading Man Fiber Arts because everything is drama-related or play-related. And this one's called Smoky Quartz, and which happens to be my birthstone, is a topaz. So that's exactly what it reminds me of, is a topaz. So that was one of them. And then we have this one, which is today's. This is Saturday's. And this is Hedgehog Fibers. Hedgehog Fibers, I do have some Hedgehog Fiber yarn upstairs. It is an English yarn, and this color is called Pistachio for a very good reason, and it has speckles in it. See if I can show you the speckles. There's some speckles. Yeah, there's speckles. And it is 90% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So it's looks like pistachio pudding, but it's got pinks in it and then speckles in it as well. So, and it's like this part reminds me where this deeper green is in here. Kind of reminds me of the shell of the pistachio. So yeah, it's really, really pretty. So this is Hedgehog Fibers. This is another yarn that I got, and it is like just multicolored. It's all different primary colors. Keep checking the monitor to see if it's showing up accurately, and it is. This is pretty close. And it is String Theory Colorworks in the Continuum base, and it's called Prism. And it is a self-striping yarn, which means if you were knitting this into socks, it automatically will go into stripes. So it is a self-striping yarn. It's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So it's very pretty. And then the last one that I've gotten so far is, and this one I'm excited about because I happen to watch this podcast. This is Legacy Fiber Arts, and the color is Miss Lily P sock set. Now, Legacy Fiber Arts is a mother-daughter dyeing team, and the mother lives in Connecticut, and the daughter lives up in Vermont. And a little over a year and a half ago, or somewhere in that near area, the daughter had her first daughter, and she named it Lily. So that is what this colorway is based on, is in honor of the first grandchild. So here it is. It's beautiful pinks, and it's got some deep speckles in it. And it's a sock set, which means when you buy the yarn, they include a small mini skein that has, you do your socks, your toes and your heels of the socks with. So the toe and heel were being done in this green. And it's kind of a tonal green. And that same green is in the speckles of the yarn. So there it is. So, and that podcast is called Legacy Fiber Arts. And yeah, so they're fun to watch. And they do a split screen. So even though the mother's in Connecticut and the daughter's in Vermont, they're chatting back and forth while they're knitting. So it's a lot of fun to watch. So that's what I've gotten in my yarn advent calendar so far. My other acquisitions were 2 more skeins of the yarn for my cabled sweater. And these came from the UK, and I was surprised because the shipping was only $4.95. And I was like, wow, you spend that much for shipping 2 skeins of yarn in the US. But it was neat. When I got it, it was folded down flat. They like used a vacuum seal, so it was completely squished. So it was literally like a book, and then you cut it open, it kind of blew up like a balloon. So, and then it fluffed up to look normal. So now I can finish the sweater. So I got that. And then my last acquisition, it's not the last thing I bought, it's just the others haven't arrived yet. But the last thing that actually arrived this week, I have been talking about Dollar Tree yarn for a while, and I told you last week that they started selling wool, and I wanted to try it out because I thought $1 a skein wool, what is that going to be like? So I went and I bought some. I actually bought a sweater's quantity. You do have to buy, when you buy from the Dollar Tree, you do have to buy a case of yarn, which could be anywhere from 6 skeins up to 54 skeins. So just make sure you read the fine print to see how much you're required to buy of that particular type. In this case, I only had to buy 6. They come in packages. I am very surprised and pleased with this. So let me show you. I'm going to put the box down out of the way. I have 18 skeins, which sounds huge, but each skein has 109 yards in it. So you're paying $1 a skein. So you're paying less than a penny per yard for 100% wool. Now, I'm not sure what kind of animal the wool is coming off of. I'm assuming a sheep. It actually is very nice. They sell it in a creamy white and this charcoal gray, which I think, I don't know if it does it. It has a name, Tahoe. It's called Tahoe. It is considered a lightweight, so it's probably like a fingering. To me, it's a little heavy fingering. It's more like a sock. I would say it's a sock weight. It's not soft like a merino, but it's not scratchy either. I mean, it's certainly something you could wear against your skin comfortably. It reminds me similar to Knit Picks palette yarn, but a little bit thicker, but the feel of it. So this is going to become a cardigan because I don't have a gray cardigan and I wear a lot of gray and black. So I'm thinking this will be nice. But like I said, I did want to test it out because I was really curious. I mean, $1 a skein for acrylic yarn or cotton yarn is a decent price also, but for wool yarn. So yeah, I'm very pleased with it. And yeah, I'm very happy with it. I was pleasantly surprised when this came in. I really didn't know what to expect. But in a 50 gram, I've said 109 yards, it's 107 yards. And it's a 1.76 ounce ball, or 50 grams. So, yeah, it's called Voyager yarn. And you can find it at the Dollar Tree. I had it shipped to my store, so I didn't even pay shipping. All I had to pay was the tax on it. So I think all total, by the time the yarn was $18, and by the time I paid the tax on it, it was 21 something. Do I have the amounts here, the exact amounts? Not on hand. Anyway, it was 21 something for 18 skeins of yarn. That's not bad at all. So yeah, go over and check it out. Dollar Tree. Can't beat that. And I think the shipping otherwise, if you have it shipped to your house, it's somewhere around $4.95. No, that was a special that was running. So I guess it depends on how much you buy. Anyway, but there's Dollar Trees all over the U.S., so yeah, if you got a nearby Dollar Tree, definitely worth it. So that is my other acquisition. Now, along with the other Black Friday sales, I told you 2 other ladies at church asked me to make them a black scarf. I did not have enough black yarn, so I actually had to go and I bought some online for some black crochet thread. So I'm waiting for that to come in. But then Knit Crate was offering an absolutely humongous sale, like 80% off is what it came down to. When you are a Knit Crate member, in other words, you get a monthly subscription box, you always get 20 or 25% off. After you get your yarn subscription for the month, they then put whatever remaining yarn they have up for sale. So if you want to buy more quantity of what you received, you can do so. And so anything that they've got left over goes up at 25%. Then on top of that, you earn stash points. Every time you get your monthly subscription, you earn like 25 points. And when you reach, I think it's 100, you qualify for like $5 off of something out of their shop. When you get, I think it's 200, you get like $10 or $25 off. I forget the amounts, but you get a it's like getting a cashback bonus. Every time you get your monthly subscription box, you get something back. And so you can cash those in. But they were running a Black Friday sale where they gave you an additional like percentage off. It added up to about 80% off of the cost by the time you finished. So I spent a total of $37 and I got 5 skeins of yarn, which doesn't sound like much, except that 3 of the skeins of yarn are a cashmere silk merino blend. It was a special thing that came out last year in the spring. I already owned 2 skeins of it. I bought 3 more so that I can actually make a sweater that's out of silk and cashmere. So when that comes in, I will show you. And I did not put it up as a sale under the Black Friday sales because it was only open to people who got the monthly subscription box. And if you got the monthly subscription box, you got the email already about the sale. So I bought that, and I bought a bulky yarn, which I will, when it comes in, I will show you what I'm going to do with that. And I also bought some extra of some yarn I got month before last, I think, so I can make something a little more substantial. So those will be the acquisitions once they come in. Now for our Come and Get It section this week, I'm doing an abbreviated Come and Get It section simply because we had so many Black Friday sales last week that the regular companies are not running as big a sales this week. So I'm just going to show you, I'm just going to go over the sales of the ones that are substantial that are going on. Okay, so I won't be going through everything that's on sale. Bluprint is one of the ones that is still offering a sale. They are offering 50% off of their bulky knit kits and their super bulky crochet kits. So it's under bulky knit kits and super bulky crochet kits. You can get 50% off. You do not need a coupon code. If you just click through the link, it'll take you right over to there. Just click on the sale of the, I think it's whatever the sale thing is, it'll take you over to that page. So that is Bluprint. The Dollar Tree, I already talked about the yarn, and it is still over there, again, in a creamy white color. I don't know if it's cream or if it's white. It's one of the two. It's a cream or a white. And then the color I got was Tahoe, which is a charcoal gray. If you are interested in Knit Crate, you can get a 20% discount off of your first box. You do need to use a coupon code KCreations20, and that will give you the 20% off of the first box, which comes out to about $5 off. Knit Picks, their yarn of the month is Hawthorn, which means it's 20% off. And there's Hawthorn tonal colors. There's also Hawthorn speckled colors. They're 20% off. They also have their Brava brand yarns on sale. There's a Brava Sport, Brava Bulky, and a Brava Worsted. All of them are $1.99 right now. So that's at Knit Picks. And they are also offering their Dishy Twist. Dishy is their cotton yarn that you make dishcloths out of. If you get an order of $50 or more, you can use the coupon code FREETWIST, and that will give you a free skein of their newest Dishy yarn, which is called Dishy Twist. Lion Brand is still offering winter warmers. They're offering 40% off of their yarn and their kits. You do need to use a coupon code DEC40 to get that 40% off. So that is our podcast for this week. There will not be a video on Wednesday simply because I'm putting a video up every day from December 1st until December 25th, showing what yarn I'm getting out of my yarn advent calendar. And if there's something interesting going on at the time, I've been adding that in as well. Or I'm going to be adding some of them in as well. Just so you can see a little bit more than just me opening the yarn. So anyway, as a result, there will not be another video up on Wednesday because who needs to see me twice a day? So I guess before I go, I will tell you a funny story that I did not tell you last week, and that was our Thanksgiving turkey trauma. We were over at my parents' house, and my brother brought the pies and the turkeys. Now, he was late getting there because he was actually using his laser cutter to etch the pumpkin pie, so it said Happy Thanksgiving. It took 5 hours to etch the top of the pie. It looked very nice, but it took him 5 hours to etch the top of the pie. So he comes up with these 2 turkeys. I come with all the trimmings, you know, the veggies and all of the side dishes and stuff. And so we start setting things up. We've got, now my mother's house is a little over, it's about 25 years old. The wiring is not the same up to code as it is in a new house, we discovered. So we've got a coffee pot going because my family drinks coffee like crazy, except for me. I like the smell of coffee, not the taste. So we had a coffee pot going. We had 2 crock pots going. We had a roaster going for one of the turkeys. The other turkey was out on the porch in another roaster. that was like an air fryer type of roaster. We kept blowing the breakers. Things kept turning off. By the time we finished our meal, 2 crock pots were in the bathroom. The turkey was in the laundry room. And the turkey that was out on the porch, we went to get, and it was still raw inside because apparently it blew a breaker out there and we never got that breaker turned back on. So nobody took turkey leftovers home except my brother, and he took the half raw turkey home so he could finish cooking it there. So, yes, that was our turkey trauma. It was like a progressive dinner. The food was just cooked in various rooms. Who would have thought about the turkey in the laundry room and the crock pots of vegetables, of corn and green beans in the bathroom? But yeah, that was our fun for this holiday. But it was entertaining, if nothing else, and I'm sure the second turkey was as good as the first one was once it eventually got cooked. So anyway, that is it for this week. Make sure you stay tuned each day for another unboxing of our yarn advent calendar. And thanks again for watching this week, and I'll talk to you all later.